Hello everyone, my name is Eli Skelton, and as you might have guessed, I'm a student here at the University of Arkansas. I am a sophomore, and I major in communication disorders. The artwork that we present today is on display at the Crystal Bridges Museum in Bentonville, Arkansas. It is a piece by Martin Johnson Head and is titled Cattleya Orchard, Two Hummingbirds and a Beetle. This piece of art, although possessing great color and beauty, was quite typical of Head's paintings. Head's artwork often included exotic flora and fauna, particularly hummingbirds. He would travel all over the world painting different hummingbirds for a book he planned to publish. Unfortunately, he ran into financial difficulties and could not publish his book. But even with this setback, Head's paintings continued in the same vein for the rest of his life. Head was born in the early 1800s to a middle-class family in a rural community located in Pennsylvania. Head was fortunate enough to receive some basic art instruction that was never replaced by any formal training. Nevertheless, even without any formal training, he managed to improve his skill through a combination of natural talent and lots of practice. Even though he never became famous in his own time, his work started to become well appreciated around the 1940s, and it remains appreciated to this day. Head's Cattleya Orchard, Two Hummingbirds and a Beetle is painted in such a way that it appears to be true to life. This is also known as the naturalistic style. He paints the orchard in such a convincing way that you seem to almost be able to touch it. Head also uses the technique of impasto in this painting. Impasto is a thick application of paint that's purposefully rough in order to give the painting a thick texture to it. By using this technique, Head is able to give his painting an added sense of realness. The subtle intensity of the colors that Head uses immediately draws your attention to his painting. Head cleverly uses just a few spots of bright color that gives his painting a sharp contrast of value when you compare the bright sky with a dark forest. The few bright spots of color are not only painted with a powerful intensity, but the hue of these colors are much stronger than the rest of this painting. This serves to draw and focus the viewer's attention. When Head was growing up, his family made enough money to support him, but only to a small extent. They were not extremely wealthy, but they made enough that Head was able to pursue his dream of being an artist. However, this dream did have its limitations. For Head, these limitations were in the form of the materials for his paintings. As such, Marxism is an apt methodology to discuss Head's paintings through. The Marxism approach to art involves the study of the relationship of art to economic factors within its social context. In a world where expensive materials were becoming more and more appreciated, and where art subjects were being made according to the patron's wishes, he did not give in to the pressure. He did not have a patron. Instead, he painted what he wanted to paint, which were peaceful scenes of nature far away from civilization. It almost seems like he was taking a stand by refusing to paint man-made riches. He instead focused his time and talents on the riches that can only be found in nature. He'd painted in the Romantic style, which was a relatively new style. Its origins can be found as early as the 18th century. Romanticism involves an individual's expression of emotion and imagination with a heightened interest in nature. It is this latter point that caused me to place Head's painting in the category of Romanticism. The biggest influence in causing Head to paint in the Romantic style is almost certainly Frederick Church. Church was a famous landscape artist and a mentor to Head. Church seems to be the one that influenced Head to start drawing landscapes and nature scenes into his paintings. An example of this can be found in Church's paintings called Twilight. This painting shows a beautiful and detailed landscape that includes a mountain range in the background. If we contrast Church's painting with Head's, we are able to see the similarities. As you can see in his painting, Head includes a vast landscape into the background of his painting. We can surely thank Frederick Church for that. If we take a closer look at this painting, we can find many different evidences of Romanticism throughout it. The landscape that Head provides seems to be perfect. We see a vast forest underneath us with a tall mountain range at the back. We also see a wild orchard placed on a tree limb with a small, beautiful hummingbirds flying around it. When we think of beauty in nature, we will be hard-pressed to find something better than this picture that Head paints for us. Of course, we will also be hard-pressed to find the scene present anywhere in nature. It is obvious that this is a romantic view of nature, but it is pleasing to look at nevertheless. I chose to present this piece of art for the same reasons that have been talked about in this paper. It drew my attention with its bright and beautiful colors, and it kept my attention with its exotic flora and fauna. The aspect that I like the most about this painting is the huge orchard in the middle of the painting. The fact that this orchard is on a tree limb suspended in the air is something that is just mind-boggling. I must confess that I am not much of an art critic. I really only have one criterion that a piece of art must pass to determine whether I like it or not. That criterion is, do I think it is beautiful? This may be the most simple and obvious criterion about art in existence, but that is okay with me. When I saw this painting, the first thing I thought was that this painting was simply beautiful, and that thought is still with me today.